HOA Karen called the police when I said I'm not in your HOA. Then found out I own the property. Have you ever had someone try to control you, only to realize you were the one actually in charge all along? Well, today's story is one you won't forget. It's a wild mix of power, pride, and karma served fresh. Stay till the end, because what happens when the truth comes out will leave you shocked. And trust me, this one has a lesson every homeowner needs to hear. Now, let's dive into it. It all started when Marcus, a quiet, hardworking man in his early 40s, moved into a peaceful suburban neighborhood. He was polite, respectful, and just wanted a calm life after years of serving overseas in the military. He'd saved for years to finally buy a small duplex, a property that came with no HOA restrictions. Or so he thought. For the first few weeks, everything seemed fine. Neighbors waved, lawns were trimmed, and kids played in the street. But then she appeared, Karen, the self-appointed queen of the neighborhood. She was known for walking around with a clipboard, barking rules that she claimed kept the community beautiful and compliant. One afternoon, as Marcus was setting up a small flag in his front yard, Karen marched over with that signature glare. "Excuse me," she snapped. "You can't have flags or decorations like that without HOA approval." Marcus frowned politely. "I'm not part of your HOA, ma'am. My property's exempt." Karen blinked. "What do you mean you're not part of the HOA? Every house in this area is under my jurisdiction." Marcus smiled. "Not this one. My property line ends right before your association begins. So, you don't have to worry about me." But oh, that didn't sit well with her. From that moment on, Karen made it her mission to make Marcus's life miserable. It started small. Anonymous letters showed up in his mailbox. "Your lawn doesn't meet HOA standards. Remove your solar lights. Comply or face a fine." Marcus ignored them. He knew they held no legal weight. But Karen wasn't used to being ignored. One day, as Marcus was painting his porch, Karen stormed up again, phone in hand, recording. "I'm giving you one last warning," she said, her voice dripping with arrogance. "You can't paint your house that color without HOA approval. It lowers the neighborhood's value." Marcus wiped his hands and turned to her calmly. "Ma'am, again, I'm not in your HOA. You have no authority here." Karen's face turned red. "We'll see about that," she hissed and stomped away. 2 days later, while Marcus was watering his plants, 2 police cruisers pulled up in front of his driveway. The officers stepped out, serious expressions on their faces. "Sir," one said, "we received a call about a homeowner refusing to comply with HOA regulations and trespassing on community property." Marcus blinked. "Trespassing? This is my property." Karen appeared behind them, arms crossed. "That's him. He's been breaking HOA rules and refusing to listen." The officers asked for documents. Marcus calmly walked inside, came back out, and handed them his property deed. "Gentlemen, this lot is privately owned. It's outside the HOA boundary. Check the county records." The officers radioed it in. Within minutes, they confirmed, Marcus was. Karen's face fell. "Ma'am," the officer said, "this property isn't under your HOA jurisdiction. You can't enforce rules here." Karen stammered, "That's impossible. He's lying." But it wasn't. As the officers left, Marcus turned to her and said with a faint smile, "You really should know who your neighbors are before calling the cops on them." Karen stormed off, furious, embarrassed, but far from finished. After the police incident, Karen doubled down. She started telling other neighbors that Marcus was dangerous, that he had refused to cooperate, even that he was hiding something. Rumors spread fast. But Marcus stayed calm. He'd faced worse things than gossip. What Karen didn't know was that Marcus wasn't just a homeowner, he was also part of a real estate investment group that had been quietly purchasing properties in the area, including several within the HOA's control. A few weeks later, the HOA board held a meeting. Karen strutted in, smug as ever, thinking she still ruled the room. But midway through the agenda, the chairperson cleared his throat. "We have a new investor joining us tonight. Someone who recently acquired several properties in this development." Karen smiled proudly, expecting another person she could influence. Then the door opened, and Marcus walked in. Her jaw dropped. The board greeted him warmly. "Mr. Marcus, welcome. We're glad to have you. As of last week, you're now one of the primary stakeholders in Oakview Estates." Karen's face turned white. "Wait, you mean he?" Marcus looked at her calmly. "That's right. I'm not in your HOA, because now, I own part of it." The room went silent. Karen tried to protest. "This isn't fair. He's doing this just to make me look bad." But the other board members were done with her antics. "Karen," one said firmly, "you've overstepped your authority for too long. We've had complaints. You're being removed from your enforcement duties effective immediately." Marcus didn't gloat. He didn't even smile. He simply stood, nodded, and said, "All I ever wanted was peace. But sometimes, peace requires standing your ground." Later, as Marcus walked home, he saw Karen sitting on her porch, staring blankly into the distance. She didn't say a word. For the first time, she looked humbled. Marcus paused. "Karen," he said softly, "you could have just been kind. This didn't have to happen." She didn't reply. But her eyes said it all. Pride had cost her everything. And that's how a simple misunderstanding turned into a powerful lesson about respect, humility, and karma. So tell me, what would you have done if you were Marcus? Would you have exposed her? Or just let time teach her the lesson? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, backhand index pointing down. And hey, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications bell for more shocking HOA dramas, emotional real-life stories, and lessons that hit deep. Because sometimes, the quietest person in the neighborhood is the one holding all the power.